Hi, Gemini, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your May 1st to the 15th, 2021 reading for you. Now, I ask if this reading resonates with you, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and also to subscribe to my channel. And if you would like to be notified whenever I upload new videos, and I upload all the time, just hit the bell notification button. And if you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will be listed and linked in the description box below. Now, before we begin this reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds. Letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. All right. Let's let the bowls sing as we see what the tarot has to say. Gemini, May 1st to the 15th, 2021, Gemini. May 1st to the 15th, 2021, Gemini. May 1st to the 15th, 2021, Gemini. Angels, ooh, okay, there we go. And spirit guides, show me clearly, guide this reading. And show me clearly, angels. And spirit guides, angels. All right. Okay, there we go. And spirit guides, show me clearly, guide this reading. And one bonus card. Fantastic. Okie dokie. We're going to move these down a little bit, making sure you guys can still see everything. Okay, fantastic. Now, the left-hand side is the inner self. The middle is the heart, the emotional self. The right-hand side, the public arena, the public self. And, of course, the bonus card. So let's see here. We have Justice, which is Libra energy. Time frame, September 23rd to October 22nd. Then we have the Three of Pentacles, the Fool, and the Eight of Cups. So it's cool. We're starting a new journey and we're ending something. And it's a very important thing. And we're actually starting to be just to ourselves and collaborate. Collaborate with spirit, collaborate with people around us. We're starting to build a sense of community, which is really super important. It moves us then to the Death card. The dying away of the old self, the rebirth of the new. Also the moon that has just happened on the 26th of April was in Scorpio, so that energy of Scorpio is still very prevalent from the moon, from full moon to, of course, full moon. Then we have the Five of Cups. We have the Empress, which is beautiful. This creative energy, this journey that we're starting on with the Fool, has a lot of prosperity, has a lot of bounty that comes with it. The King of Swords, that's us. That's us in the minor arcana. We're represented by the swords. In the minor arcana, we're represented by the lovers in the major arcana. So this is our energy coming through as a king, as somebody who doesn't take any nonsense, who is, very comfortable with transformation, non-judgmental, but also very, very determined, very focused. Can seem a little bit cold at times because we need to get the job done. And so that's going to be an important thing. We then have the Devil card, which is Capricorn energy. Time frame December 23rd to December 22nd. There we go. December 22nd to January 19th. We have the Knight of Swords. We're definitely conquering and fighting a lot of the darkness that holds us back. So if there's any kind of depression, seasonal depression, doubts, fears, negativity, worry, and things that are binding us, things that are holding us back, those fears, those chaoses that tend to pull us back into the muck and the mire, we're really fighting against those during this time. The Page of Wands, fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. It can be a child, all right? Here, for some, yeah, definitely for some Geminis who are watching, this is a child energy. It could be our child or a child that we're raising during this time. It's like this energy is very important. It's creative. It's also energizing and reaching for the stars as we embrace our own creativity and our own desire forward. And of course, we end with the Lovers, and it's very interesting. We have the Devil and the Lovers for this time period in the public arena. We have our chaoses and our absolute joys coming out. There's duality in both. The Devil is, by some, they say it is the fall of the Lovers. So it can be that. It can be that sense of this is the corruption, and because Gemini walks in the Lovers, we can easily be pulled in by the corruption of the Devil. So there's a sense of being mindful of that. It doesn't necessarily mean that that's true, but it can be, yeah, it's in the darker moments of our psyche and of ourselves where, you know, Gemini really focuses on being loved and being liked by people and being nice and kind. And when you have a Gemini in alignment with themselves, I mean, it's a beautiful thing. But when you have a Gemini out of alignment, then it's just seeking for that approval and for that understanding. And it can feel like the most overwhelming thing, because it can always feel just right out of reach, and as if you're always going to be that outsider looking in. The bonus card is the Eight of Wands. It's changing. Everything is changing. This time is all about change, how we're handling change, how we're moving forward in change, what we want our lives to be, where we are right now. There is a real sense of there's more out there than we realize. We have the repeat of the number 3. Divinity is with us. There's a sense of connection. There's a sense of power. There's a sense of beauty here. So let's see the chakra energy for this time, Gemini. And this energy is going to be the energy where we're a bit sensitive, where we need to kind of just be a little bit mindful if we meditating with the sense of I'm protecting this energy, or I'm moving this energy forward into a safe place. We have here soul's healing. Now this is the soul star chakra located 6 inches above the crown. It is very much a sense of being protected, of healing, of coming together. So during this time, where we're most sensitive is in knowing that we're healing, knowing that we're moving forward, knowing that our dreams and our desires aren't just to be put on a shelf and never lived. That's going to be the real thing, because when we have setbacks, during this time, it's going to hit us hard. It's going to be like, oh my gosh, I'll never get there. I'll never get to be where I want to be. It can be falling into just a state of seeming despair. And that's the thing that Spirit is really kind of pointing out here. It's like, it's not, if things didn't fall apart, they would never rebuild in the way that they're supposed to. And so during this time, it's walking away, and it's saying, I cannot let this world pull me down, because it will. And it's time for me to let my beautiful spirit shine forward, and for me to embrace being me, not being anybody else, but embrace the beauty, the complexity, the erotic, just energy and style and grace and abundance of being who I need to be and who I want to be. We talk about the erotic usually in the realm of sex, and that's great, but it doesn't have to be relegated just to that one area of our life. If we can bring the erotic, the sensual forward, then we can bring life forward. We can bring art and movement and beauty into everything. So let's look at the energy we need to be mindful of. What is the energy that Gemini needs to be mindful of? May 1st to the 15th, 2021, Gemini. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Oh my goodness. And of course, it falls right on the floor. This one was in my hand too as it fell, so just give me a minute to grab this. You guys get to hear my squeaky floor. Okay. So it is the Prince of Cups, water sign energy, Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer. There's a sense of energy to defend the heart, to defend what we love, to defend what we want. There is a sense of somebody who attacks our heart or who has attacked our heart. It can be our loyalties, because Geminis can be astoundingly loyal. You know, people sit there and say, oh, Geminis are so flighty, they're so this, they're so that. And it's like, yeah, Geminis have their extremes, because when you're done, you're done. It's like, why would I stay here? Why would I stay where I don't want to be and where I don't feel welcome? It's just silliness. And then we have the Queen of Wands. This is fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. There's a sense here of emotional manipulation and passionate manipulation. It's like, this is what I love, this is where I want to be, but it's kind of like, prove yourself. If this is what you want, you'll sacrifice everything for it. If this is where you want to be, you'll put everything else on hold. You'll have somebody here who emotionally can be rather aggressive and really hold what you love against you. And you'll have somebody here who's much more suave at manipulation, at getting what they want, and really making it seem like they're doing you a favor. So just be mindful of that. Be very mindful. We start off with justice. This sense of, I need things. There's going to be this need, first and foremost, that I need everything to be fair, and I need to be just to everyone, and I need everything to be good and solid and just right. And here's the thing. If we all of a sudden make life about being just to everyone and forgetting ourselves, we will be just to no one, and we will sacrifice ourselves. So this is a time where we need to be discerning about the energy we're going to let into our lives, discerning about the people we're going to let into our lives, because we're crowned with major arcana cards. So these aren't, you know, you can work with the minor arcana, but the major arcana is kind of a bit more steadfast. So there's a sense of transformation, of breaking chains, of having ourselves tested through addictions, doubts, fears, disabilities, you know, despairs, everything that we've gone through. There's going to be that sense in the public arena of it trying to pull like this dark goo that's just trying to pull us down. So here, it's not being just to everybody else, though that's important. Being a kind, good person, it matters. But it's being just to ourselves. It's saying, this is what I need in my life. This is what I want in my life. These are the people I like, and these are the people I don't like. You know, this is where I want to be, and this is where I don't want to be. This is how I want to move forward, and this is where I don't want to move forward. It's my balance of understanding, my balance of emotion and desire, logic and passion. And this becomes a time where we start to be, and we have to be, more honest with ourselves than we were before. Because this is a time where we start to see things more clearly, more in line with who we are, more in line with who we want to be, and what we desire for our future. And it leads us to a collaboration. Now, kind of making this clear, it's not worrying that we hurt other people's feelings, but it's saying, I'm not living my life for everybody else. It's time that I start living my life for the emotional understanding that I need. So it's not those people, and we all know those people who are astoundingly egocentric and they're living for themselves all the time. Maybe then we need to be more balanced in the other extreme. If we know that we're taking, because usually when we're taking, we do know this. If we know when we're taking and we have to pull back and give, that's going to come forward. If we know when we're giving so much, and then it's like, I just can't anymore because I'm not feeling like a woman. I'm not feeling like a desired creative being on this earth. And I feel like the only thing I'm doing is being drained and being drained and being drained to the point of resentment, to the point of anger, to the point of despair. And so here it's starting to collaborate, not only with ourselves, but also with spirit, with our angels, with people around us. It's kind of opening up the door and saying, I need that connection, I need that idea, I need that flowing of information. It could be found online, we can FaceTime with people, but it's also going to be found through walking out the front door, if we are a place where we can, and saying, okay, this is the sun on my face. This is me walking out onto my balcony. This is me, breathing in the fresh air. And this is me creating with my soul and with the earth and with myself and with what is needed. It's a connection. It's a rejuvenation. And it brings us to beginning a journey. It's like, I can't sit on my dreams anymore. I can't hide away in my dreams. And what I love here is in this deck, in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, this is action. It's like action and celebration. You have the Fool celebrating. You have the Dog who is mourning but also celebrating. You have them very much kind of having the same stance. So there is a sense of aliveness. There is a sense of, I'm starting. I'm going to go to the cliff's edge. I'm going to see, do I jump? Do I fly? What happens? Is the cliff a far way down, or is it just one of those little dips and not really a cliff at all, but just appears one on paper? So here, there is a sense of the great unknown coming forward. There is a sense of needing to explore and needing to expand. And what happens during this time is we start to see, we start to question, we start to say, why not? Excuse me. And what's really beautiful is that this is a time where we look at things and we say, if not now, then when? And if not me, then who? So when we're going after our fool's journey, which every single hero's journey is considered a foolish endeavor before it's won. Every single, entrepreneur is left at, why are you giving up the steady job until they win? Until it's steady, until people are proven wrong. People will doubt before they will believe. And so here it's like, okay, I'll deal with my doubters. I'll deal with the naysayers. I got that. But I get to deal with me. I get to embrace me. I get to open up my existence and my eyes and my desires to me. And that becomes so much more than I expected. And then as we begin this journey, as we start these chapters, as we kind of go against what others have wanted for us and go towards what we want for ourselves, we walk away. And what's interesting, our ending and our beginning are in different ways. So one way here, because if we can see, they're walking in different directions. They're facing different directions. We have the Eight of Cups saying, I'm done. This is an ending. It is an ending that is permanent, or has a finality to it, has a gravitas to it. It holds weight. It is an ending where we say, enough is enough. It's time to move forward. It's time to go after what I want, what I need. And the thing with the Eight of Cups is I thought I needed this. I thought I wanted to be here. I thought this was the right place for me. I thought I found the perfect person. I thought I found the perfect career. And it's not. Now it's not saying, oh, Dane, there's no such thing as perfect. Believe me, I understand. And Spirit more than understands. But sometimes we think we figured it all out. We think we had all the answers. And then as we grow and develop, we realize we didn't even know the question at that moment in our lives. There's a sense here of growing and developing and searching and seeing and being able to say, it doesn't fit me anymore. It isn't right. It's kind of like when you walk into your closet and you see clothes that you've had hanging there forever. And you think, would I ever wear that again? And it's like, no, not for love or money. Like, never, ever, ever would I put that on. So you get rid of it. You let it go. You sell it. You give it to the charity shop. You release it. And that's what we're doing here. We're releasing ourselves and letting ourselves move forward. And it brings us to the Death card. It brings us to a dying away of the old self and a rebirth of the new, which is what our heart is going through right now. It's going through this transformation. It's not the same as it once was. Things are different. Things are being seen with power, but also with weight to them. There's a realness to the world and around the world right now that can be disconcerting, but is also needed. There's a sense of greater understanding, greater connection to what's important instead of what isn't. And we look here and we have the Fear card really shining through in the background. The moon with the sun behind it and the pillars. And we could just imagine behind the Pope's hat, the dog and the wolf and the, the lobster. So here we have the fear of the inevitable, of the changing, even the changing of ourselves. We're not just simply talking about death here. We're talking about death in the sense, in the cycle of death, rebirth, and regeneration, in the Ouroboros sense of the serpent eating its own tail. We will devour ourselves in the way that we will always transform. We will always take who we once were into who we are now and keep that cycle going until that cycle ends. And there's a sense here of an understanding. There's a sense of, I'm not the same person that I was. And for that, I have to be just to me. I have to embrace me. I have to look and honor me. And it's, again, not being selfish. It's being honest. And it's not sitting down with our partners, our friends, and family members and saying, you know what, we have to have a conversation about me. It's really sitting with ourselves and saying, I matter. And I know that I'm going through this period of transformation. I know I can be cranky during this period. I can be, overly sensitive. I can, look at things and think it's just not heading the way that I want to, just want to walk away, just want to give up. But dealing with this period in our lives and saying, I see it and I claim it as the transformation that it is, as the evolution that is inevitable. And it moves us to this looking at things quite differently. Instead of looking at this transformation in sorrow and despair, it's looking at it and seeing the Two of Cups, the minor arcana Lover's card that stands, the sense that there's love and there's unity and there's beauty here, the sense that the door is opening, things are gaining an understanding, and we're starting to heal. We're starting to heal from the hurts and the pains of the past. We're starting to heal from the devastation of the present. We're starting to heal, and we've become stronger because of that. And there's a weight behind our eyes because of that, because we have seen and not cowered away, because we are gaining an understanding and not running away from what needs to be seen, because we are embracing who we are and who we were born to be. And it leads us to the Empress. It leads us to being pregnant with possibilities. It leads us to the stars and the heavens crowning us. The world is our oyster. Ideas are endless. Power is purposeful. You know, there are very few people who sit down and are just savants. You know, they can just do things. They are just so terribly gifted. Very few people can ever be that. And yet we all want to be that. It's work and it's sacrifice. And the Empress knows this in a way that others do not. The Empress throughout history, you can say the role of women throughout history, was a bit more of a silent role. But you did have plenty of queens and empresses that changed the course of the world and that ruled for their husbands when they couldn't. Some of the kings were just absolutely mad. They really were just so inbred. It was unbelievable. Or just mad and didn't have the stomach for medieval life. So here we have strength, but we have hidden strength. We have strength that maybe wasn't focused on as much because it was seen as weakness in a way for the king not to be able to rule themselves, for the empress to have to kind of drag them along. Just think of the Emperor Josephus in Roman history, where he was going to let Rome burn and run away on his ships. And his wife Theodora said, don't you dare leave, because it would be shameful and it would be horrible, and I will rule if you walk out the door. So this is a sense of that power coming through, that sense of pulling in the masculine and the feminine and saying, this is what's working together. It's not the ignoring of one aspect of ourselves, of one sense of our duty and our desire within this world. It's having both come together. And at this time, the feminine aspect of ourselves, the sacred feminine, is gaining momentum. It's gaining power. And it wants to create. The sacred feminine is about creating. It's about bringing forward what wasn't seen or what couldn't have been understood. And it's about nurturing. It's about evolving. It's about opening. And it brings us then to the King of Swords. And the King of Swords does not play. The Queen of Swords and the King of Swords are not the king and queen that are like, oh, I understand what you're feeling. No, they are the king and queen of absolute focus, truth, and understanding. They do not care, okay? They don't. They don't care if it's not going to be the popular thing to say. They don't care if people aren't going to understand. They're going to move forward the way they need to. And that's kind of the attitude that we need to embrace here, Gemini. It's like, I don't care if you don't get it. I get it. I need it. And I'm moving forward this way. I don't care if it doesn't make sense. It makes sense to me. And that becomes a powerful way of looking at things. It doesn't mean that we go off, so off the beaten track that nobody gets us. Nobody can see where we're coming from. It means that we're looking at things very openly and very honestly, but also being very true to ourselves. The sword is earned. It is never given. So here's the thing with being an air sign energy. Being evolved as an air sign energy is earned. It is never given. So here, there is a sense of, I earned this. There's a sense of time and effort and skill and work that was put into everything. The sword is a symbol of majesty and power, not just for a king, but for an empress, for an emperor, for a ruler. They ruled by the sword. And that's why they say, you ruled by the sword, you lived by the sword. That was the way of life. It made nobility. If you were handed a sword by the ruler, you became part of the noble class. Commoners were not allowed to use swords. Peasants were not allowed to use swords. That's why you see in uprisings and in paintings and in depictions, they're carrying pitchforks and stakes and all this stuff because they were not allowed to use swords. Here we have a transformation. We have a hard-won status-building skill that brings forward transformation around the mind. Why? because the swords are the mind. And the sword represents the power of the mind. It brings us to the devil. So what we have here is our hearts are powerful. They're looking at things in a logical, emotional way, which sounds like a contradiction, and it can be, but it's like I have to be open and honest with my emotions. Like, it's kind of like my dreams need a practical plan, right? The statement of the new moon in Taurus. My dreams need a practical plan. I need to see what I desire, how I lay it out, where I need to be, how the doors are opening, how I'm closing them, what it is that I want within my life. And here, we're putting down that practical plan, and it starts with an ending. It can start with an ending of excess nerve. So we can start, taking calms, or what is it? Eshkenaza? I think that's how you say it. I just started taking that, and it really helps like calm the nerves and just settle things if you have a tendency to worry, which of course I have a bit of a tendency towards. It can be, exercising and just releasing so that we can end a chapter in our lives that we just don't want anymore. It's like, okay, I'm done with this and I need to move on. And that's the thing with Geminis that can get people so frustrated and can get us frustrated with ourselves. I need to move on. And when we need to move on, when we have that statement kind of resonating through our soul, we can't ignore it. We can't deny it. We need to move with it. And it brings us to the devil. This is what we're addicted to. Staying in a place too long, being trapped by other people's ideas and ideals, trying to fit in when we were meant to not. It doesn't even mean that we were meant to stand out, because sometimes we weren't meant to stand out. We're just meant not to be part of, the cattle moving forward one way. There's a sense here of what binds us. We can escape from. We can take the chains off our necks, and we can see they're loose around their necks. They can push them up and be free. But do they want to be? And do they see that? And so here we're starting to see that within ourselves. I can be free. But these are the things that have been so ingrained in us. This is a sense of doubt and fear. And where does that doubt and fear come from? Does it stem back from your childhood? Is it the sense of, oh, I can't do that. I was, always mocked as a child, or I was always this and always that. And, it was just so much easier to hide away or to escape through, drink and drugs and just be able to release. And now I want my life back. And it's like, yeah, I want my life back. Openly and honestly, I want it back. It's mine. Or is it through a disability? I know growing up for me, I was a bit deaf and blind as a child, and I never realized how much that impacted things, because after that I was severely dyslexic, and that became my all-consuming, thing that I had to battle. But always those words come back of like not being enough, not being able to move forward. And we get chained by that, and we start to see ourselves in a certain way. And they start taking the chains and saying, absolutely not. Now, it can also be that we have a bit of an issue with a Capricorn. That can be the case too. And we'll have to meet them in the public arena. People who want to keep us stuck in a certain way. It doesn't have to be a Capricorn, but it can be people who want to keep us in a certain role, in a certain way. This is who you're supposed to be. This is who I've always seen you as. And it's like, but that's not me anymore. I need to be free. I need to move forward. And that's why we battle this so intensely. It's like, no, I need to go after what I want. The Knight of Swords has a tendency not to think. The Knight of Swords can have a tendency just to say, I need to act, I'm going to act, I've waited too long, and I'm just going to charge forward now. So we have to be mindful with that, because we can't have a tendency to just, not do something, and then all of a sudden hit it like a battering ram. So there is a real need here to think things through, understand what we're doing, and then just go for it. Just go after what we want with tenacity and determination and insight and ideas, and saying, I don't know how this is going to work out. I don't know how I'm going to move forward, but I am not being held back or held silent anymore. And it brings us to our dreams, to our desires, to being a student of what we want on this earth. We're rescuing ourselves here. The Knight of Swords is also my idea of Prince Charming in Sleeping Beauty. You slay the dragon, you cut through the poison, you ascend, and you awaken the princess. You awaken that part of yourself that was sleeping for too long. That part of yourself that you thought you had to deaden because the world is just too harsh. And no, you bring it back. You bring back the sacred feminine, the sacred masculine. You bring back the dichotomy of the world, the intertwined understanding of fervor and love, and of stubbornness and yielding. And there's a sense of real power. And then we become a student of our passion and our desire. And what's really interesting is that you have some of the Ouroboros here, the serpent eating their tail, open, and you have some closed. So it's like in childhood, we have some understanding to the complexity and the coming together of everything. And then other times we just don't. We're just open and we're living our lives and we're going after what we want. And there's this sense of moments of just clarity and insight and purposeful power. And that's what we're looking at here. And there's also ideas and ways forward that we'll think, oh, that sounds like a great idea, but no, not really going to focus there, or we try to focus there and it just doesn't work out because it's just not right. So here, things start to open. We start to see, and we become curious, and we become curious, and we become curiouser. And it's like, oh, can I move that way? Can I think this way? Can I break down that door? Can I open my eyes? And then it brings us to ourselves. It brings us to the lovers. It brings us to knowing the Taoist statement that this and that is true. That there is never just one road to be walked. There's never just one way to see things. There is a sense here of beauty and complexity and power and understanding. And there's a sense of the very essence of ourselves coming forward. The very essence of ourselves being blessed to achieve and succeed, to dare to dream, to look at things in a way that says, where's the passion? Where's the love? Where's the fire and the purpose here? And it moves us to understanding that over all this complexity, things start to change. And we get swept up in that change. So let's look here. And let's go deeper. Let's look at the devil that's coming in and binding us. Let's see. Show me more clearly for Gemini the meaning of the devil. May 1st to the 15th, 2021. Show me more clearly the meaning of the devil. May 1st to the 15th, 2021. Angels and spirit guides. Ooh, okay. Angels and spirit guides. I love how everything is just jumping out. And that's going to be what this time is like for us. Everything just jumps out. And that's interesting. I was like, do I clarify the devil or do I clarify the Five of Cups? So we're going to clarify the Five of Cups in just a little bit, because we have the Five of Cups coming over here. And we start the circle with the Five of Cups, over the Five of Cups and the Death card. So what we're really going to be focusing on is the lack. And that's going to be something emotionally that hits us really hard. So we have to be aware of that, just so that we can combat it, so that we can, set things up so that there's more fun, there's more play, there's more laughter in our lives, or there's fun and play and laughter in our lives, maybe not even more if we don't have a lot of it to begin with. There's just a sense of beauty coming forward, because we need to remember the Two of Cups, the healing, the love, the unity, the connection. We also can get mad as hell and rage and cry and, gnashing of the teeth and pulling of the hair, make it a very, ancient Greek drama type of thing, and just release so much pain and so much hurt and so much despair that we might think, but I can't. I always have to be the good person. I always have to be the person who's put together. I always have to be the person who holds things for everything else, for everyone else. And it's like, no more. I'm done with this. I need to release it. And I need to know that once I released it, I still heal. There's still a way back. And this isn't saying that we rage against, our family and our friends and everything like that, because there really isn't. That isn't good. But there is a need here to release the anger and the negativity that is building up within us, and to bring the unity and the healing forward. But sometimes the unity and the healing, if we say, oh, just focus on the unity and healing, that's great. But we need to release the anger, because it builds up like poison inside of us. And if we don't release it, if we don't push ourselves, if we don't, see the chaos, we'll never see the beauty. It brings us to the Ten of Swords, which is my minor arcana death card. The dying away of the old self, the rebirth of the new. This is the darkness before the dawn. This is the sense of it had to end. It had to end to bring forward a beginning. This is who we once were, dying away. And it's not nice. We don't always like to see who we were dying away, because we think, wow, that was an innocent time. That was a more joyous time or a more relaxing time. I didn't know all the stresses that I need to have, or I didn't have all the stresses that I have now. And the Ten of Swords is that release, is that sense of, here's the darkness, but here is me rising to a height I never thought I could have, rising in a way I didn't think I could, because I now am armed with a wealth of knowledge, and I know so much more. There's again that weight behind the eyes, the understanding that there is more to this world than we could ever understand. And it's more than just heaven and hell and, and good and evil. It's complex. And it will always be complex. And we are complex. And we will always be complex as we move forward, as we discover, but also as we deal with pain and hurt and the shackles that we wear in this world. So we rise. And it does feel like we rise from the dead, from the hurt that we have been through, from the despair that has, been following us for just too long. And it brings us to the Hierophant. And it's interesting, we have the repeat of the number 5 here, and that's a freedom number. That's a number of freedom, that's a number of things coming to a resolution faster than we thought they would, but it's a sense of, I get to be free, which is what we want. We want to be free from the trap that we feel stuck in. And it brings us, again, to the Hierophant, to the sense of the keeper of knowledge, the keeper of wisdom. The Hierophant is the ruler of the tarot. Maybe only second to the magician, but in medieval times, the Pope told everyone what to do. And that's who the Hierophant symbolizes, the Pope. The Pope could tell emperors, empresses, kings, and queens. And so during this time, we have this power, and it's literally over the ruling aspects of ourselves, of the Empress and the King of Swords. So this sense of, I have to be true to who I am, to my fundamental, basic understandings of what is right and what is wrong, what I need and what I don't, how I want to move forward and how I can't, what is me and what isn't. The Hierophant comes in, and the Hierophant says, this is the essence of who I am. And if I walk away from this, I walk away from so much that has made me, defined me, nurtured me, and brought me forward. The Hierophant is that connection to divinity, and the Hierophant can be at times abused power, but it's also forgotten power. So it's understanding that line. It's like absolute power corrupts absolutely, but that was a corruption of the statement. The statement was the love or the seeking of absolute power corrupts absolutely. So it's keeping ourselves balanced. It brings us then to the magician, wisdom, knowledge. The alchemical search to turn lead into gold can also be seen as a spiritual search to turn the common into the extraordinary, to turn the everyday into the unbelievable. And that's what we're doing with our own souls. The magician knows to utilize all their elemental powers, the essence of themselves, the desires that they have, the wants, the dreams, the hopes, and everything in between. There's a sense that there's more here than meets the eye. And there's a sense that we are looking at it. And the way that this defines the devil is like, if we don't purge ourselves of the hurt, if we don't resurrect from the pain that we have been through, from the knowledge that we have learned, if it buries us, it will bury us, period. End of discussion, and that's fine. So many people live their life buried in hurt and pain. You can see them, a dime a dozen. It's too much to live, and to live with beauty and the erotic and the sensual and the extraordinary as part of our lives is not only hard, it can seem impossible. But if we stay true to ourselves, if we stay true to what our soul needs, and we know that yes, the bills have to be paid and responsibilities have to be obtained to, but I also get to be me and have the beauty of being me come forward, then I have achieved magic. Then I can hold on to the elemental beauty of what I desire, what I want, and what I need, and I can open up the doors. And I can start seeing me clearly. I can stand before the altar of my existence and say, this is what I know. And this is what I have no idea about. And that's okay. But what I call upon is my mind to question, my heart to search, Because as above, so below. As I believe it, so it becomes. And if I believe it impossible, it will always be just out of reach. But if I believe it is within me and has the power to come out, then through these years, it will come. I've already walked through so much pain. I've already experienced so much devastation. Wisdom, even just a kernel of wisdom, had to have come out of that. It brings us then to go deeper, to see what that wisdom is. Well, we were going to see what that pain was, but that pain was the release. So let's see what that wisdom is. What is that wisdom for Gemini? What is that wisdom for Gemini? Angels and spirit guides. Temperance, balance, harmony, a coming together the masculine and the feminine with the yin and the yang over her third eye. So an awakening to this, an awakening to what is desired, what is wanted, what is needed, where the soul longs and what the heart desires, an opening up of the door. Temperance is saying there needs to be balance here. It can't all be one thing or another. We do tend to like extremes, Gemini, so this is a time where we need to roll those extremes in. Sagittarius energy is also represented by the Temperance card, and that's the sister energy to Gemini. So this energy, this coming together of the gift, the beauty that comes forward, is going to feel very comfortable. It's going to feel very much like at home, like, oh wow, okay, I get this. And it brings us then to needing to see, because that is a good thing, the balance comes. But what about the chaos? What about the Five of Cups? Show me the deeper meaning of the Five of Cups for Gemini. Angels and spirit guides. The Hermit, yes. The turning inward. The looking at what is needed, but also what is needed to be released, what is holding us back and what is pushing us forward. Virgo energy is represented by the Hermit in the major arcana. But there's a sense here of, I hold the key to the door. That's why the keys are in the trees here. And they're in the canopy up above here. So we have the sense that nature holds the key. Now, is this being out in nature that holds the key? That could be one interpretation. Is this embracing our true nature that holds the key? That's another. Is this the nature of us turning inward, looking, seeking, desiring, questioning, opening up? Yes. They're all correct. And we may find ourselves moving closer and closer and closer to the understanding because of this. It brings us then to our spirit animal message. I'll put this right down here, which will just give us guidance for this time. Gemini, May 16th to the 30th. No, Gemini, May 1st to the 15th. There we go. Gemini, May 1st to the 15th. Angels and spirit guides. Ooh. The stag spirit. So, of course, you have majesty here. The stag represents majesty. And the stag spirit says, take the leap. Take the leap of faith. Take the leap towards what you desire, what you want. Take the leap, just like the Fool is saying here, to take the leap towards our magic, because the magician is over the Fool. The Fool begins the Fool begins the journey. It is 0, right? The magician is the starting point. Is when we leap into the magic and the wonder and the unknown. It's kind of like when a child starts to develop in the first year of life and 5 years of life, they learn more than they ever will afterwards. There's such this way of taking in everything. And during this time, we will have that type of ability. Not the same as a child, because that is just the extraordinary, but we will have that type of ability to be able to take in things in a way that we hadn't for either such a long time, we thought we lost it, or that had been always eluding us. And now we start to take in the knowledge, the understanding. We start to push forward, and we need to start with taking the leap. The leap towards the unknown, the leap towards the desire, the leap towards the extraordinary, the leap towards the beautiful, the erotic, the sensual, the exquisite. We need to leap. We need to jump for it. We need to go after it. It brings us to our subconscious message. The bee spirit. Sweet results await. It's not all hardship and pain and despair. There's a little bit of sweet, like a bit of honey on our lips, when you lick it and it's just a surprise. Because a little bit got on your teacup. You have that sweet, like, oh, beautiful moment. It's letting those sweet, beautiful moments in. And they're warming us, guiding us, being a part of us. It moves us then to our subconscious chakra message, which is the inner child. This is the heart chakra. And this is so important because our inner child is everything. Who we once were is how we define who we are today. Either we embrace the child we were and we love that child, or we run away from that child as if we're running away from our own shadow. The exercise of just visualizing like the light around our heart chakra coming forward and visualizing ourselves with our arms open and the child that we once were running into our arms and us being safe, us being secure, telling the child that we were, I love you. I will always love you. I will always care for you, and I am always here for you. Because it doesn't matter if others would laugh at the time you felt insecure within your childhood. It matters that that scarred you. And so to be able to connect this way, to be able to heal the heart this way, is beyond powerful. It moves us then to our subconscious spirit message, person message, which is the chariot. The subconscious and the conscious have to come together to pull the chariot forward, to lead us forward. If they're not working together, the chariot will not work. It will run in circles. It will not go at all. It will be a disaster. This is understanding that people have their own agendas. People will be plowing forward in our lives with their own dreams and their own wants. Staying true to us and ours is going to be intrinsically important. It leads us then to our subconscious message. As we look at the magic that comes in, the Four of Cups, it comes as a gift that is not easily seen. And it may not be seen as a gift. We might think of it as this horrible extra burden that is put on our shoulders. And we think, oh my goodness, how am I going to juggle this? There's a gift that comes. It can come 4 years down the road, which I know sounds extreme. But it could come 4 days from now, in 4 months, 4 weeks even. But there is a need to look at the beauty that is around us, to look at what we are taking on and what we are taking in, and see where we stand and why we stand there. To see what we need, to see what is coming, to see what is being taught, and why we're experiencing this in this moment. Again, we might not be able to reason it out right away. And then we look at the pain that we have been through and the subconscious meaning behind the 5 of Cups, the 4 of Pentacles. The 4 of Pentacles is vampiric energy. We're looking at the vampiric energy. The vampiric energy says, focus here. Focus on this lack and this drain instead of what we have. Or hold on to what we have and don't focus on the lack and the drain that is making it so that we can't move forward. It works either way. And it takes us away from seeing the beauty, from seeing the connection, from seeing the greater understanding. The 4 of Pentacles is that vampiric energy, is that drain that keeps us from standing tall and being proud of who we are and where we're headed. It doesn't mean that we made the right decisions all the time or we made the right decisions at all. It means that we did our best and we keep on moving forward in that honor of self, not in lack. Our subconscious tarot message. Well, our subconscious message around the devil is the 7 of Pentacles. Be patient. Be patient because the prosperity comes. Be patient because we're building something amazing. Be patient with the bounty that comes forward because it's not sitting in darkness and doubt and fear. And our subconscious tarot message is the Star. Subconsciously, we're moving towards what we wish for and what we long for. This is a sense of our dreams being heard, of getting what we want, getting what we need, not what we want, and having the doors open, connecting with the spiritual and connecting with the practical, and seeing the beauty of us, being guided by dreams and desires, hopes and wishes, just feel a little bit more real, a little bit more tangible during this time. Subconsciously, we have this desire to move towards our dreams. And if we deny ourselves that right during this time, we will feel disjointed, sad, and out of alignment with who we truly are. To embrace the star during this time will be to raise the energy vibration. So I suggest if you have a tarot deck, and you can take out the star, put it on your nightstand, put it on your mirror, be able to see it, be able to be like, those are my wishes coming true, just so that we're reminded, so that everything that we crown ourselves with, everything that we think of, starts to pull us forward towards the direction of success, making sure that we have thoughts of success and not ones of poverty, doubt, and fear, of lack and not. So this is the sense of my dreams come forward because I'm focusing on them. And I'm looking at where I am and knowing that this is not the end game. There's more here than meets the eye. All right, Gemini. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I am sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we begin this journey. As we begin this journey and we free ourselves from the bonds that have kept us silent and small for way too long. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Gemini.